Okay.
Did you get it? Oh, sorry.
We're calling our
Oh,
CRA meeting to order of July 15th, just so that we're going to sidetrack from our agenda for a hot second. I'd like a consensus direction to tell Jennifer to put a chandelier in our tree out front so that we're
Yes.
talking about it publicly.
Yes, let's do it.
Is there consensus direction?
Second. Let's do it.
The CRA can do that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's
Using
true.
We're in the CRA.
That's what makes sense.
It is in the CRA.
We are in the CRA, and we
recommending
are
it.
the directors of the CRA.
And
Bob,
it's
aren't you
for that-
recommending?
Bob, you have any issues with
Aren't
that?
you recommending it?
Light's great. No, that's great.
No, I mean, big
It's
one.
a
We need a
CRA
big one.
public art project.
It's a capital
Do
project.
you really want to bring any more attention to the outside of City Hall?
Well, but it might make it look a lot better.
Well, or maybe we
And the
prepare
tree.
for this spectacular one that's gonna go in front of the new City Hall. I don't know.
We don't have a nice tree. Oh, we do though, on
We do.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's
Milwaukee.
true.
So they can move it.
Yeah, so it's
So
reusable.
it's reusable. They'll be able to move it.
Perfect.
I didn't hear John. Is John consensus with John too?
I was going to wait till you're done talking.
I want this to be unanimous.
Yeah,
It
this has
is.
got to be a unanimous decision. John? Any feedback?
Any feedback?
A chandelier for the front of City
Chandelier
Hall?
for our tree out
The
there?
Max Helm chandeliers.
Well, since this isn't an actual vote, I guess I could vote any way that I wanted to. And I have
Well, it
no
is an
input, so I
actual
have no
vote.
input.
It's a vote.
Yeah, it's a vote.
It's a vote.
It's a consensus,
It's a consensus.
and it's not that expensive.
Jennifer has the authority to do it anyway, right?
We'll be putting a chandelier in front of City Hall.
You know, Alan calls them chandlers.
Chandeliers?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, John. You gotta be for this.
The chandelier?
Chandelier.
You're going to put the chandelier where?
In the
Alan,
tree
have
Have
out
you not
front.
seen the artistic
tree.
chandeliers around
And then
town?
we'll move it. We can just move it
They
right over.
light up. They
Just
light
in
up.
Light up. They're
At
all
night.
down Broadway,
Drive down
in front of
Broadway.
people's houses, hanging from trees. They're weatherized.
Yep, they're
When do
everywhere.
you want to do this?
Well, it has to be made
Are
first.
we here for the CRA?
Is this in the business plan?
So,
We're gonna go a half hour on
revise
this,
the
and then you
budget.
guys just, sit back and,
Okay. Last minute change?
Okay, do we have direction?
I think we do.
Yeah.
Oh, a big one.
John,
Gotta be a big
can you
one.
go along with us?
Well, I guess it really doesn't matter, right?
It does. Max will like you.
I'll say to take a look at it. How about that?
Okay, perfect. Drive by my house, drive by Mo's house. They're all over Broadway. I'm on my.
Drive by my house.
Commissioner Torngo.
I'm sorry, it's the men. Just saying. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, now we really are at a
This
meeting.
could be quite a night, Jennifer.
All
Can
right.
you feel it? Nikki's like, oh.
Okay, so the first item is our draft minutes, May 20th, 2021. Are there any changes or adjustments? Can I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second?
Commissioner Tornga and Commissioner Kynes, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, the CRA Advisory Agency Chair Report.
yes, Mayor, I'm going to go ahead and give that. They couldn't attend. There was some conflicts there. We actually had a pretty long, extensive, very positive meeting. We had several things that were accomplished. One which we hear more about today is the Douglas Crosswalk. That's why consultant Jerry Dubkowski is with me. We also talked, and they got to view the proposed hotel on the corner there of Douglas and Main. That was also very unanimous. And we also went forward with a landscaping master plan that they approved on an advisory type basis to improve landscaping downtown. So it was a pretty extensive meeting, but all very positive, and we had a pretty good showing.
It was actually, if I may, a special meeting, right? Because their meeting last week was canceled because of the hurricane.
That's correct.
So
That
they
is correct.
rescheduled
Yes,
to yesterday.
yeah. Did I leave anything out? Oh, okay, super, thank you.
Bob, I was just gonna ask, the landscaping, that would be real grass versus dead grass?
Yeah, I know.
Just kidding,
So can
just
you-
kidding.
Yeah, do we get some flowers? Do we finally get
Yeah,
some flowers?
there's flowers, there's
Been
color.
begging
there's-
for them ever since we went to Toronto.
She wants the potted flowers.
We can't, you know,
We've been through this. I'm not going to beg for the hot hanging ones.
we can't
but-
do the hanging plants. We don't own the streetlights. They don't have the weight control, the wind load, and there's no irrigation up there. So, but the one thing that we did talk about with the CRA advisory is doing a little bit of a prototype of a couple of pots and see how that works and see if we can get some of the merchants to adopt it. But we also wanted to have more of a consistent type theme. We didn't want a situation where someone just goes to Lowe's, Home Depot, or wherever and buys a pot and throws it down. So we asked our consultant to go ahead and take a look at that and give us some styles and see if we can move forward.
Wait a
with that.
minute. You got a consultant to help you pick out pots?
Is part of the lands.
John,
it's-
you hate consultants. I can't believe you're not jumping in on this one.
No, Mayor, it's part of,
Listen, it's just one of those nights.
okay. It's part of the landscaping.
I'm
mess.
really just teasing.
Okay. The other items on there was the Crown and Bull. They're applying for conditional use permit for their outdoor dining there, so that also received support. Basically what exists there today, part of it was grandfathered, part of it was not. Crown and Bull is going forward with that. They have to go to the Board of Adjustment Appeal, and they wanted to get some opinion and thought from the CRA Advisory Committee. In talking with the owner, they're going to be shutting down music at 9 o'clock, is my understanding, and they're going to be doing more of the food and beverage there for Crown and Bull.
Can I just ask, I mean, I haven't heard from the neighbors there, but are things pretty calmed down? I mean, I know that we resolved it, and then it kind of shot up again maybe 8 months ago. Are we,
Yeah,
I mean, are we really feeling like the neighbors are content with, because I don't want to add to
Certainly.
issues?
I have to defer a little bit to George Kinney and Joey DePasco, but to my knowledge, things have calmed down, and that the owner's been very consistent with shutting down the music at an early time, so that it doesn't overpower anything in the residential.
So the conditional use come before the city commission,
Okay.
and we will reach out directly to those neighbors.
To this, wait, to this.
Board of Adjustment Appeal.
Board of Adjustment Appeal,
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't come to us.
I'm sorry, before it goes to the Board of Adjustment Appeal, we will reach out directly to those neighbors to talk to
And
them.
it's conditional use, does that mean we can retract it?
Yeah, I mean, depending upon certain criteria.
This is a little outside of what the discussion is, because I think specifically too, there's, Crown and Bull was a legally existing non-conforming use before you added it as a conditional use, so I don't think that that's that,
That's correct. Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
more,
It's a unique situation.
yeah, I don't think,
So it's not going to be treated the same way.
well, I'm just saying, I mean, whether you can take it away depends on whether or not it was a legally existing non-conforming use, or whether, and I know that that's part of, one of the issues with that property, so I'm not sure that this is the forum to discuss that, and if you all have any questions about that, I can dig down into it deeper, and we can talk about it before it goes to,
Well, I'm
Any
all
next
for it.
steps, but
I
there's-
just don't want to give any more legal rights to someone who, if there's still issues, because we've had multiple issues, and hopefully they're done. Hopefully it's all gone.
I have not heard of
I
any
mean,
commissioner. Yeah,
okay,
I
good.
think
That's great.
His focus has really been on more having the outdoor seating and the food and beverage, and he's really shutting down the music. So I have not heard anything in my passings.
You know, that has been the issue, it's the music, so.
Yeah, in the past, it certainly has, and he pretty much made a commitment, no, we're going to shut down, this, 9 o'clock, I think is what he told me, 9 or, I think it was 9 o'clock. Was it 9 o'clock, Gina? Yeah, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and he
An
has.
acoustic.
He has been shutting, like he had steel drums a few weeks back. My son goes there a lot. I go there for brunch.
No,
I don't go there at night, but, and he says that it's been acoustic or steel drum type, not
Acoustic.
the big band, and they've been shut down early. So the people that want to hang on a party, they go to Blur,
Yep. Much.
which makes sense.
Okay,
Okay.
cool, just wanted to be sure.
Next item is, I have consultant Jerry Debkowski here. It's on the Douglas Crosswalk. If you remember, we've come before the CRA board in the past. We wanted to put something in place that slowed down traffic, provided safety for pedestrian. Also, we wanted a light aspect to it. And we originally came up with something called like a raised platform out there. When we went out to bid, we only had one contractor to bid on it, and the price was very high. It was more than twice what we originally estimated. And we were also looking at a fairly protracted road closure, which we thought would hurt the merchants. So we went ahead and got with Jerry Debkowski and said, gee, is there a way to do some value engineering on this? Is there a way to get this without compromising the overall project? And what we wanted to do today is have Jerry go over it, talk about what we had before, where we recommending today, and certainly go ahead and field questions. So with that, let me turn it over to Jerry Dubkowski.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Jerry Dubkowski, nice to be back face-to-face again. So, Bob is exactly correct. We worked very closely with putting a nice design plan together to make this crosswalk as safe as possible for not only the pedestrians and the folks that would use it, but the vehicles that would be on the roadway. So, next slide.
Certainly.
So, again, the photo on the left is essentially Douglas Avenue running north-south. You can see we have an existing crosswalk that is directly at the middle of the Artisan, which gets used pretty regularly. And I must say, it's a valuable location to get across the street and for those folks that live in the Artisan. But now there's a real demand on the south side of the Artisan because the parking garage exits right to this location. And because the businesses on the east side of the Douglas, they'd like to have it more safe. So when you come out of the garage or you come out of the Artisan on the south side, we want to put that crosswalk in to get you over to the east side of Douglas so that you can help those businesses and enjoy the opportunities that are along there. On the right side, essentially on the upper right picture, is that existing crosswalk that comes directly out of the Artisan in the middle of the building. And then the picture on the lower right is where we want to put the new crosswalk to make it safe to get across.
Yeah, that upper one is what we call street print. That texture, that color, that street print, and that's what we're looking to use here too. So as Jerry's going to go into some detail.
So we met with city staff several occasions over the last couple months, and we came up with the concept to have a raised crosswalk with the red brick pattern on the top. It's ultimately 10 foot wide, and then it matches into the sidewalks on the east side of the crosswalk and on the west side where the Artisan is. On the east side, you can see there are paver bricks that have to be rebuilt to meet ADA standards because it's a little higher than where the crosswalk physically would be. You'd be on the paver bricks, then you have to come down to ADA standard and then go up over Douglas on the raised crosswalk. Well, that caused some problems in terms of construction. A lot of the vendors that I had talked to after the bids came in said that ADA responsibility for a contractor is so critical that there's ultimately folks that are going to cities and counties and saying you're not meeting ADA. It's moving on to litigation issues. So the contractors that I talked to are very nervous about constructing this at this location to meet ADA standards. And when you think about it, if a car, let's say your car is driving north and you go over this 3.5-inch high raised platform, it has to be warped to come back down to the gutter so that if you're pushing a stroller or you're pushing a wheelchair, it has to be nice and smooth, and then you go up over the road and then come back down. Well, contractors are nervous to meet that percentage that's required to bring it to ADA standards. And that's what raised the price up very, very high for this to where we only got one bid, and it was close to $80,000. And it's because of the nervousness, in my opinion, of the contractors being able to meet these grade requirements on that road. Great idea, great concept, still could be built, but when you value engineer what that costs to put that in place versus another idea which we came up with, we think that this is probably excessive, and we still can get the same safety by the next picture.
I think it's a little bit more ADA sensitive too, as Jerry discussed.
So now what we would like to do is the same location, the same 10-foot wide crosswalk, the same red brick pattern on the top, but we're also going to include what we've talked about in the past, the LED in-pavement lights that would be installed on either side of that crosswalk. And since I've even talked to you about this, technology has gotten even better, and the prices have actually come down because now the state of Florida, FDOT, is starting to put this on their state roads. So now it's being used more and more, so pricing is being less, And the product has now been approved by FDOT with warranties. So now the product that we would show you here actually has a multi-year warranty, which is really good to have. So what we want to do here is we're going to eliminate the 3.5-inch raised section that goes across the road because of the concerns of meeting ADA's percentages of slopes, et cetera. So now the crosswalk will be flush with the same elevations of the road so that you won't be driving over a hump anymore. It will be flat, but the LED lights will be, we're going to put a few more in place. There'll be a total of 8 now in this location. I talked to the LED vendor, well recommended, and also we are going to add lights on the very edges so that when the pedestrian or the person that's crossing here, when they push the button, there's going to be a little stand that you push the button to make the lights activate. We are now going to put actually lights on both ends of the crosswalk so the pedestrian knows that these lights are activated and that when they're crossing, they're going to know that all the lights are on. Instead of just the driver seeing the lights, the pedestrian will now see the lights when they walk up onto the crosswalk. And this will clearly meet ADA without any real issues of changes, other than the paver bricks on the east side still have to be lowered because the grade of the road sticks up about 1.5 feet back to the sidewalk. So a simple process. So now we're more in range with what Bob had estimated for the dollars to do this project.
Yeah, this is consistent with the other crosswalks too, when they're downtown. This is consistent, which I think is an important item too. But yeah, the original bid came in at 87,000. We were somewhere around the 45,000. We think this is going to be somewhere around 50,000. We do have sufficient CRA funds for the initiative. And at this point, I'd like to direct questions to Jerry.
Deborah?
It's been a long time coming.
Okay, which has been longer, this or the landscaping?
No, I don't mean this. I mean the use of these.
The landscaping.
The lights, to allow these kind of
Yes.
lights in the pavement is a long time coming. It was very out of favor for a long time with the FDOT. Now, as you said, technology's changed. I guess they've changed their mind.
I know, Commissioner, you've seen this in Venice, so this will be the first one around this area, though. I'm sure this is going to draw quite a bit of attention, Jerry. Yeah.
And you push, there'll be a little stand.
A ped feature to push, yes.
It's a ped with your foot?
It'd be a pedestrian.
Little button.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the pedestrian will be able to have eye contact. with
Okay, so
liquid.
you walk up and there's a little thing and you push and then they blink.
Activate. They'll
Okay.
activate.
And it's on both sides.
On both sides, and also this is going to be a solar installation.
And that's even better.
Even better.
I mean, even better. That's fabulous. Thank you.
John, any questions or?
No, based on Commissioner Kine's happiness, I'm
She was really happy about the chandelier.
I know, yeah. We're all happy about this.
Questions?
Funny, yeah. Yeah, Mayor, if you don't mind. Thank you for your sensitivity with ADA. I think we all are. But outside of that, when you look at crosswalks and the raised crosswalks, what's leading in the industry? Not just what is industry doing, but where are they going with that? Is raised? Because what I have seen, just in my research, which is insanely limited, but there seems to be a popularity among those walkable cities, those that are trying to get away from being car-centric, et cetera, raised crosswalks are a thing. I just don't know how big a thing they are.
I'm going to let Jerry answer. I mean, they certainly have their place based on the characteristics, so I certainly think it could be a good idea. I think really the unique feature of this is the lights, the LED, but I'll let Jerry handle that. But
Thank you, Vice Mayor. There was actually an FDOT symposium this morning which they talked about pedestrian and bicycle safety. FDOT has really changed in their policies of pedestrian safety. They're doing a study on Orange Blossom Trail in Kissimmee right now, 6-lane divided road that the state has just approved raised crosswalks with LED lighting in the pavement, advanced signing that lights up, pavement markings to let the motorists know it's 30 miles per hour, It's a pilot study, but now FDOT, as of September 2020, has approved raised crosswalks on state roads. That has never been done before. So the sample that we showed is pretty much what FDOT has blessed, but the way they design them is it's a little different. The crosswalk will go completely back to the sidewalks, so you don't have to worry about going down into the gutters and coming back up to meet that ADA tolerance.
You got a bigger span, I mean, with that many lanes, too.
Bigger spans.
Slope to grade, this is only a 2-lane.
But this is a huge safety improvement that FDOT has now recognized, and they are working very closely with cities and counties now to talk to these agencies and say, what would you really like your corridor to look like from your livability standpoint, safety standpoint, and now they want to design roads based upon huge input from cities and counties that have to use these facilities. It's not so much going from point A to point B anymore as quick as you can that FDOT has always pretty much did because they control the interstates. Now they are really wanting to help cities and counties. So I'm very excited to see these raised crosswalks as now a new situation that you can use on state roads, let alone city and county.
And so as, one of the things that we all like to be in Dunedin is first, or we like to lead. And so that was kind of where my question is I don't, again, setting aside the very, very important sensitive ADA issue, as the DOT says yes to these, will we start to see more of those raised sidewalks? And does that give us pause to go, wait a minute, it might be better for Dunedin if we want to lead, if we want to be first, to maybe address the ADA issues with the raised, to be that leader, or?
If I may, Vice Mayor, and of course Jerry's going to have his own thoughts.
I know it's your money, Bob, I get it.
No, I'm not worried. No. I'm not worried about. No, I'm not worried about that, Vice Mayor. But I think, I understand what you're saying. I think there's going to be a place in Dunedin for the raised crosswalk. I'm concerned about the safety aspect now with speeds going through there, with all the activity that we have. I think this flush, because it's 2-lane with the lighting, is going to work well in this environment. I think 2 lanes can be tough to get the ADA aspect with the grade. I would look, perhaps, it's just a thought, obviously this is all just coming here, is Skinner Boulevard. Maybe that should be a place that we should look at, maybe with the raised crosswalks. We get a little larger right-of-way to work with to taper down. I don't know, Jerry, I mean, your thoughts. If we want to do it, the cost with the raise was $87,000, so it's not
For a
something.
2-lane.
Yes, for the 2-lane, it was $87,000, but we also had a road closure, and then the contractors were a little bit nervous about the ADA, but give your input. We want to make it work, no question. But I think this is a really good upgrade. Could it be even more? Yeah, sure.
I mean, your points are taken, and they're valid. Speaking of Skinner and the trail, at the trail, I know when the sun is setting and you're heading towards the trail, sometimes it's insanely hard to see if not that the lights are flashing, because you can see those, but you have no idea why they're flashing, just because the sun's in your eyes. Sure. And so at this crosswalk, is there any concern with the lights in the driver's eyes at all? Will they be able to see motion in the crosswalk? People, pets, whatever?
This is amazing. There was actually this discussion this morning in the symposium about the cone of vision that the driver has when approaching these types of lights and the speeds. And they talked about roads at 35 miles per hour, 30, 25, because FDOT likes to keep roads no less than posted at 25. But they actually showed a cone of vision at 15 miles per hour, which is what Douglas is posted at. And what the driver visually can see at that speed versus 30 miles per hour, this is 35, their cone of vision gets more tight and you don't see the pedestrians on the sides. So I love the speed at 15 miles per hour. To talk about the future of these crosswalks and things, year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when we did all these public meetings on Skinner Boulevard, the mayor actually brought up a great point that, Jerry, where are we going to let pedestrians cross from the south side of Skinner to the north side of Skinner? We want people to go on both sides. Well, again, FDOT this morning announced that on major roads, you now can have a raised crosswalk and that would fit perfect for Skinner Boulevard's concepts if it gets to the design. We're now going to have some raised crosswalks. In reference to these lights shining in your eyes, and would they give what we call light overspill? No, these are actually directed directly to the driver, but they only shine up about 3.5 feet. So they're going to hit the visibility, cone visibility of the driver, but not go off into above the cars. So they are directed directly to help the driver know what's taking place in
You get
front
those
of them.
attention bars there, too.
Right.
I'm just going to direct also a question. I know you've got these, but are you going to have the lights for a lighted crosswalk that you normally have, the flash?
No, the characteristics of this being just a two-lane, you mean like what's up on Skinner, which is much wider? No, that would have tremendous light spillover, so we didn't think that was a good fit here. But, yeah, Jerry, you're talking,
Yeah,
and we had
we-
Jorge give a little input.
We actually discussed that at the last commission or CRA meeting.
I'm just a little.
been a while.
concerned Because that's what people are accustomed to seeing for a crosswalk. And given we have a lot of visitors that come here, and a lot of them come by car, you know, it's a new thing. So I'm
It
just,
is.
I am a little concerned that people will not
I think, Mayor, I understand.
gravitate towards having, you
Yeah,
know.
I understand what you're saying, Mayor. It's funny, I was thinking about that. As you know, I play tennis, and I played tennis in Clearwater and Countryside. And now they just put on Countryside Boulevard some stop signs with just a white crosswalk. But as you said, everyone's been accustomed just going through there very quickly. But there's no lights, there's no different street printers, absolutely nothing. I think in this situation with all the different features, I think we're going to be pretty comfortable with people recognizing this as a unique area, especially because it's a high-activity zone with the artisan and the backup traffic.
Does the other crosswalk that's more north, does that have a flashing?
No, it does not. No, it does not.
Those flashing beacons, as we call them, they can be portable too. If this doesn't work like we feel it's going to work, things can be added later.
Yeah, it's a good first step.
Yeah, I just want to just express my concern there, because, you know, the reason we have traffic regulations is for consistency, so that when you see something, you automatically know, you don't have to think about it. And so that's my only concern. I mean, I love the lights in the
No,
pavement.
I understand. I just think the characteristics here are a little different, but I understand what you're saying.
And along those same lines and consistency, and I like this as well, but just, can you see, are we going to go away from those, what I'm going to call vertical lights? You think this is kind of the new trend?
No, I think the vertical
Or
lights
does it
have.
depend on the street, the speed limit?
Yeah, the speed limit, of course, this is outside I'm going to turn over to Jerry here real quick, but speed, but width and vision. You know, Skinner's a very wide open type situation. This is pretty much closed, so, but, yeah.
All right, thank you, thank you.
Commissioner?
Well, first of all, I mean, when you guys first brought this, you started with the big blue, blue, I mean, you had huge things here, and we're all like, oh my God, that's gonna look crazy.
Overpower, yeah.
Right, it would overpower it, so I get you, there might be some middle ground, but I think we drove you this way. So, that's kind of my sense.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I mean, and so, you know, I have a similar, I had some similar thoughts as to Vice Mayor. It seems to me that, well, first of all, is the other crosswalks going away? Is that,
No,
it's gonna stay there? Okay.
correct. I think the more features,
Yeah.
the better off we are.
I mean, when you go down that street, I mean, it's not a bad idea to have a raised bump, because if nobody's coming, I think it helps just calm it down, because people can clip along, even though it's 50 miles an hour. So, I mean, the speed bump actually helps in a couple ways by having it raised, so, especially if DOT is going that direction. I don't know, I get it, but it just, I don't know, I have some other thoughts about that. What's the difference in road closure between doing the two?
The vendor that I talked with and has given us a really nice bid to put these LED lights in, he says that they can install them half of the road at a time. So we wouldn't need to do a full closure to put these lights in.
But if you did the ADA thing or raised the thing, what would that be?
The ADA thing would be a night closure, because these actually would have to go into the new raised crosswalks, which there's a curing time that has to happen with the asphalt. So it would definitely require maybe a 2-day full closure, which could be at night, but the
Yeah.
curing of the asphalt, because it's all new that we would have to put in, is going to be an issue.
And the cost drove up with the nighttime work too, of course. Not that that's part of it, but.
Well, the 87,000 versus the 50 accounts for that probably, right?
Yeah, I think,
Yes.
yeah, that
I
was.
just,
yeah.
you know, I don't know, I mean, if it should be raised and we should just be proactive, then I'd like to do it, and the 37,000 and it's not that big of a difference in
No,
closure,
no.
but I don't know, it just seems like, if the only time you're gonna have lights coming up is when a pedestrian comes, so if there's no pedestrian, which a lot of time there's not there, you know, it slows people down.
Yeah, excuse me, Commissioner, yeah, I understand completely. And no, this isn't just a financial type consideration, but you also got the attention bars. I think you need to talk a little bit about that in addition to the.
Yeah, because we're not raising this now, which you are exactly correct, that clearly slows vehicles down. Because we're going to keep it flush, but we will have the lights. I would like to install prior to this crosswalk what I call attention bars. Some people call them rumble strips. FDOT calls them rumble strips. Essentially, it's white strips, 4 of them in a row.
Raised.
That as the car approaches, it gives you a little vibration to say something unusual is happening here. So I'd like to install those prior to this crossing to add further attention that this is a crosswalk.
You really don't think we should be doing the raised? I mean, you really don't think that's a more proactive way to do it, or, I'm just asking.
No, it certainly can be done. I guess it was just really concerned with the contractor with the ADA aspect here. I don't, and timing, timing.
It can be done. It's going to require road closure. It will be feathered very closely by the contractor because they don't want to go to litigation if somebody comes after and says it's not meeting the exact ADA slopes, et cetera. You are correct. When there's no lights coming on, there's no pedestrians, the raised crosswalk will slow the traffic down during those times. But it's pretty much a financial issue.
Well, and, I mean, that's my point, if it's financial, but we should maybe do it. I mean, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out to the commission. And then my other thing, I was a little confused about the lights. So you're gonna have the 8 lights, but then you said on each side when the pedestrian pushes it, what are they gonna see? Are there gonna be is there gonna be a light on the pedestal or right in front of them?
It's going to be right in front of them, so that if they're waiting, they push the button and they're waiting to cross, there'll be a light directly in front of their, whatever device they're pushing across, wheelchairs, buggies.
So like
that
on the ground?
They know that the lights facing the drivers is on. So that'll give them a little bit of sense of security that, hey, all the lights are on because I can see mine is on.
Is that in the ground?
That is in the ground.
Okay.
Yep.
So there actually be 8, like 4, 4, and then 1, 1 on each?
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, is that 4-4-4-4 or 2-2-2-2?
4, 4, and 1 on each side.
Really?
It's
Well, no, on both sides, north and south, I guess.
4,
4, 4, 1, and 1.
Yeah.
Correct.
4, 1, and 1.
Yeah.
See the 4 and the 4?
correct.
Well, there's 3
Oh,
there.
well, okay, well, yes, I was, okay. I'm good.
I thought you were really trying to throw me off. Yeah,
No, I still think my logic was right. There's more than
So
one way to
now,
look at it.
I'm going to
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
a different wrench in your thing. Since it's my turn to speak, I will respond to your thing.
Okay.
I'm kind of done with this crosswalk. I want to get it in, and I don't want to change it again, so
Yeah, I get it.
I'm just done.
got you.
And I also, to
But we
be
have a bid
honest,
in for the raise, so it's
do-
done either way.
I am concerned about,
They expired.
our golf carts too going over those humps. I mean, and the different things that we've got going on. So I'm concerned about a lot of different things going on. If you think the strips are fine, make sure they're not too noisy, because you'll get people complaining, the shop owners.
We did
and-
think of that, excuse me, Mayor. We
Just
did-
saying.
No.
They
instead-
can be.
Yeah, instead
We
of doing-
talked about it for that neighborhood.
Instead of doing 4, that's why we're doing 2,
Yeah.
because of what you just said, and people sitting outside Pearlie's.
So my wrench that I want to throw in is, you've got this crosswalk looking this way, I feel like you should do the other crosswalk the same.
I was going to exactly say that.
Because now you're trying to get a theme and a mantra going on in, so if we're going to spend the extra money, I'd want to see the lights over there too.
I like that. That's what I was going to say.
And if
Brian.
you're going to tear things up, I'm just saying, why not do it all at once? And so that you now have this beautiful theme, because in theory, if this is at night, it's going to be pretty,
Yeah.
right? And there's a theme. It just seems kind of silly to have the one, if it's not raised, that you're just going to have this one over here and not have the other one.
I totally agree.
Excuse me, yeah, we certainly can look at that and agree the timing is good, consistency is good, and I'll work with Jennifer, we'll find.
Again,
fund
I
for
don't
it.
want to hold up. I don't want to hold this up. So if adding that piece to it holds this up for a long period of time and blah, 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 then, I get it. Maybe we want to just do this and test it out and
Do the
see if
other
it,
later.
and see if it works the way we want it, and then do the other one. I'm not saying how to do it or whatever. I don't want to cause drama for you.
I'm seeing Jorge, of course, sitting there, and he certainly is up to speed and all this, but.
But I feel like one road closing would be best versus
Yeah.
2,
Yeah, we certainly can do that.
if there's money.
Let's look into it, and we will let you know.
Would you be okay with that?
I'm fine, but just for the record, whether we do raised or not raised, it's a go tonight. I mean, we can go either way, right? So there's no holdup. I just
Yeah,
wanted to be.
and just, we're creativity coming from Jerry here. We're buying the lights independent of the project, so we already know that cost. So the rest is with the contractor.
So can I just add, so what is the cost factor of going back to what you already have, an imprinted crosswalk, and adding the lights in and the little thing? I mean, so that's the question. How much more does that, because I agree. I think that would be great. And you talk about slowing people down. You're going to have these lights and you're going to have
And
those
then you're going to
lights.
have those, and and people do use that other crosswalk.
We do.
They really do. So I don't know, I would like it to be a theme thing if we're gonna do this.
Makes total sense.
Okay. Jerry's just whispering a number to me, but of like 75 or 80 for both of them. So we'll certainly go back to our budget and see what we can do. But
Well, if we can get, 2 for the price of what the other one was gonna be.
So let's, because Jorge's saying it's an ad alternate to our existing bid, so let's circle back and figure out how it is we can do this, and report back to you at your next CRA meeting. But this is a go. We don't want to slow it down, but we can see how we can.
Well, but
wrap
our
this all
CRA
together.
meetings don't happen that often.
I know.
September would be, yeah.
Right.
So, all right, so we can certainly do a motion to approve this, whatever you're asking us to approve here. But can we do a motion that says, if you have the money, and it's not causing drama, go ahead and add it if you can.
I think that if you can condition it on funds, but the drama part's a little vague.
I knew you were a smart aleck down there.
Everybody's getting in the
I
act
like
today.
that.
Everyone has different definitions of drama.
It's been one of those weeks,
We understand
Mayor, we
drama.
can call a CRA meeting, too.
We
Yeah,
understand
but
drama.
why do we want to do that?
Well,
It's one less thing. I mean, if the money is there and you look at it and you feel that it fits into the criteria that the city would like or not like, you or Jorge, then I'm okay with that.
I understand that, Mayor. I would rather bring it back to a CRA meeting, because if we put something in that any one of you disagrees with.
Oh, yeah, then you're in trouble.
Exactly.
Here's the,
Is that called CYA?
Sounds good to me.
well, and you don't have to, I know you have your planned CRA meetings, but you can, when you come together, do at the very beginning of one of your meetings for the first 15 or 20 minutes, do it that way.
Meet as the CRA, right?
And just meet as the CRA.
Okay.
Switch hats, yep. Thank you.
Well, I don't think we have another meeting, though, until the middle of August.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's going to take us some time to look at, the ad alternate on this. It is.
Yeah.
It's going to take us some time to look at this.
So you're saying that it will be okay, that meeting in August, that we can do it like Nikki said?
We
But
have
that's going
a
to hold
budget
it up
meeting.
when we were planning to do this.
We have a budget meeting in August, on August 10th. We
Correct.
have some opportunities.
That would be the opportunity to,
August
with the
10th.
CRA.
When do you have this?
We were looking to get this done really October, beginning of October, I think is what we were thinking of.
End of September.
Yeah, I want to get done before the peak season. So
And will that throw it all off if we do something by?
it might not be, yeah, you know, I have a little different thoughts in here perhaps. I think I'd like to get the one done and make sure we're comfortable and it works well. And if there needs to be any adjustment, then to look to do the other one, but that's, you know, I don't know. I don't know if Jorge has any additional thoughts on that. Yeah, we got to rebid, yes.
So you haven't bid yet,
No, we had the one bid with the raise that
but that's my point.
we can bid it out as both, as, you know, with the alternate. So here's this one, what's the cost for the alternate?
Because you only got one bidder too with the raised, right?
That's what we had. That's what, that was where.
So if you want it quick, you gotta go with raised. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually hadn't realized that we hadn't bid it out yet, so I apologize.
Well, we bid it
Yeah,
out
we
as
did.
raised.
Right.
Not
I
as
hadn't realized it, so that changes things.
I couldn't bid it out till I knew I had direction here.
Right.
That you were okay with the flush.
Got it. So,
So doing an ad alternate on the bid is just, you know,
We
know you have one, but you might get two. What's the price?
it's
Is
not even
that,
an alternate, we'll just bid it out this way with both of them, right?
Bid it out as two? Did you have to rebid it?
Right.
Yeah.
gotcha.
So we have to vote for it anyway when it comes back after bid, so.
But I think, if I'm understanding right, I think what City Manager Jennifer's interjecting is that the budget's coming up on the 10th. Obviously, we didn't have the second one in our business plan. We need to go ahead and allocate some funds toward it. I think that
We
maybe.
need to allocate funds for it, and ultimately, you all would need to approve it. So let's see how fast we can work here.
Yep,
Okay. Is there a motion for that?
I will make the motion. I think I'm making the motion that we're going to come back together on the 10th with a short meeting, because you're going to go to bid, and then you're going to see how much it would cost for an add-on to do the other one.
Yeah, excuse me, Commissioner.
So the
I
the
wanted to-
actual, the motion is
No.
that we would like to do both
We got it.
sidewalks.
We'll, if that's your motion, then we'll bid it out with both of those, but we're not going to be able to bring that back to you by the 10th.
No.
Okay, thank you. I want a bid result.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
So the motion is to bid, is we would like to do both sidewalks the same.
And, you know, yep, that's my motion, that we would, but how quick can you get this done? I mean, we've been,
Well,
I'm ready.
You know, obviously, with the direction today, and then we'll talk about the budget, so hopefully we have something there. But we got a pretty good idea of what the cost is. So now we just need to go out to bid. So usually 30 days to. So you look at 2 to 3 months, 3 months, so.
Well, that's too bad, because then, I mean, what we
Now we're in
don't,
October.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what we
October's
don't
blowing, so
want.
that's November, yeah.
Yeah, that's, you know, we start really seeing the most people coming back late October, November, December. I mean, so if your thing was to get this out there with the least drama, Nikki,
Is there anyone, Jorge, at the county to piggyback on the crosswalk like that? Any piggyback? Yeah, okay.
Pretty fast.
so,
I need a second to Commissioner Kine's
well,
motion.
I'm not sure, knowing how long it's gonna take, that we shouldn't just do this one, see how it goes with the full intention that we
It was
add.
bid as raised, though. We can't even do a flat
Yeah,
one.
they don't have
So
a
if you
bid
want
yet.
flat, they have to rebid it no matter
They
what.
have to bid it.
And so the bid process is the bid process, though,
Right.
right?
Right.
Correct.
So we're already into November, regardless of,
Whether we add this or not.
Right.
Exactly,
So-
that's my point.
Okay, so the
That's
motion
correct.
is.
One or two.
To move forward on the bid for this one.
And the other one.
And to add the second one that's due north of this on Douglas.
Is there a second? Is there no second?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay, so
Lack of a second.
Jeez. I will second the motion. Now you have to close this item out.
closed.
Well, it's not. No, you got to have the dialogue and you got to vote, because I just seconded her motion.
I just had one question, though. If I may, Vice Mayor?
Yes, you may.
Let's get in some trouble
We've
now
got
with you as
12
the chair.
minutes
Come on.
left on this meeting, by the way, just letting you all know.
Okay. So how long is the raised thing, how long is that good for, that bid?
The bid.
How long is
From
the current
Clute,
bid good for?
You know, I can't remember. We probably get that bid from Clute, what, maybe
It's been a while.
6, 7 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I met with him on something else. He's doing Pioneer Park right at the moment. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm
Do
not
you
sure.
have it in email anywhere?
To look at right now, you mean? I don't think I do. Email from Clute on bid
For the raised walk?
I don't think I do.
That was quite a while ago.
That was even longer than that.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
sorry.
long time ago.
It's quite a bit, I'm sorry. It was quite a bit longer.
I can imagine.
I was in an era, so it was probably 6 months ago.
That we did the bid,
Yeah.
and it's still open?
No, it's not open. They have usually X amount of days you need to
Oh,
accept.
so no bids open now on
No.
raised or other?
No bid open, no. We're starting over.
Okay,
We're starting over. We are starting over.
okay. Well, I was going to just suggest it'd be nice to have all the options on the table so we could just,
Yeah.
but,
No, as the vice mayor mentioned, the bid process is the bid process.
Commissioner?
I'm done, yes.
All right, we have a first, we have a second. Do we have to open this up to the public?
You do before you vote.
Yeah,
Is anybody from the public have any comment? Hearing, seeing none, bring it back to the commission. Any final comments?
Usually you would go to the maker of the motion first if they, yeah.
Okay, Commissioner Kynes, any final comments?
You know, I really do understand. I think there's a differentiation between a 6-lane highway where I can really see that slope would be very, very helpful. But this is a 2-lane, and I think the major safety concern, because I was in Marco Island when I first saw this, about 20 years ago.
Bless you.
And it was something very like this, and it was pretty close together, and you could really see them going off. And it did slow the traffic. So I'm really in favor of my motion. I think it'll work. I think that there's new technology. FDOT is changing their mind, and now we have the solar. So I think with the two, you would really have some stop and go and stop and see, and I think it would really slow that 15 miles down that people sometimes disregard. So that's my idea.
Mayor?
What she said.
Commissioner Torga?
Yes, so I'll go with my first comment that I made. I was very happy that she was happy, and I was just using a little humor there, but it's been a long time since this has been talked about, and we needed to put this in there. So unless I'm more convinced that this is not going to be a budget issue and that it could be done, I'm for doing this as soon as possible. It's about safety. I'm very familiar with that intersection. I went down it twice today. We need to put this in there, and for me, it'd be good to put the first one in and see what happens. But if we have the money in there, then I'm not necessarily opposed, but I don't want this to get stopped. I mean, we really want to put this in. So I haven't gotten that sense of feeling good about it. Maybe I can just look at you, or the city manager, or look at you, Bob, but.
The urgency, you mean, of getting it in? No, I want to get it in.
No, I'm sorry that we have the money. In other words,
No.
we're going to vote to say, let's do both of them, but we don't know that we really have the money to do that. You're talking like you got to look at this. So if we have to look at this and delay this, let's put the first one in and vote on it and put the first one in. So that's my opinion about it at this point.
Same amount of time. It's going to take the same amount of time to get the bid anyway, so.
No, I understand
Well,
that.
But except what they're going to do is they're going to bid it for both. They're going to bid one and an
alternate.
add alternate with the second. So it's the same amount of time. And by that time, they'll know how much it is, and they'll know if we've got the money or not. That's all we're asking to do. Because we'll still have to vote on the
If this is
contract.
direction of the commission this evening, we will find the funding for both of them.
Okay,
Yes, we're hearing loud and clear, we want to make both of them work.
Yes.
So that's what we will do.
that's great.
Thank you.
I'm happy.
Commissioner Freed?
You know, I'm not gonna cause any additional drama. You guys are the experts. I just wanna make sure we're not going down a path that maybe we should spend the extra money and get the platform now and just deal with it. But if you're confident, because when you say it's just a money decision, that makes me a little nervous, that, you know, maybe we should be doing it and we should just bite the bullet now. So, but if you're comfortable, you're the professional staff, I'm gonna rely on you, and I'm not gonna cause any more drama.
Okay, no, understand, Commissioner, there's pros and cons. You know, it was discussed here. When you have a platform, you're impeding traffic all the time. When it's flush, they can flow through, and when its lights are flashing, they obviously know that it's got to stop for pedestrians. So there's a little bit of.
And I 100% get that, but I'm
Yeah.
suggesting that there potentially is some concern with people sticking to 15 miles an hour, and a lot of times, there isn't a light's gonna be going off there.
Yeah.
And the one that exists now, they just plow through. So, you know, it's an additional benefit. So I just want you guys to feel comfortable that it's not worth it to just bite the bullet, so.
And I agree with Commissioner Freeney's comments. Is this a roll call vote?
I think you need to make it one.
I think we need to make it a roll call vote. Can you call the vote?
Commissioner Franny,
I'll vote aye.
Commissioner Torga,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
Commissioner Kynes,
Aye.
Vice Mayor.
Aye, and that motion carries.
Good job.
Great job, Vice Mayor.
To minimize the drama, that was really good.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got 8 minutes.
I can do it. I can do it very quickly. This is the director's report. Skinner Boulevard, I think I mentioned to you, DOT wants to advance that project. They're looking to move the design up as well as the construction. Construction to go from 2026 to 2024, with design going to 2023. They're talking about $1 million to design it. We have $600,000. Forward Pinellas is looking to pick up an additional $400,000 to make us whole. And then the project would also be advanced. So that's pretty exciting.
That's fair.
The John R. Lawrence Pioneer Park has started. You'll see the fence out there. We do have a big now display rendering that will be installed here very, very soon. Meats Materials, we're really proud of that, and I got to give a lot of credit to Trevor.
Oh, the fence today.
Yeah, I want to give the credit to Trevor on that one. He coordinated all that. That's a decorative fencing that was around Wood Street. It opens up that whole area, getting rid of that stockade fence that was out there. In addition, I just want to mention a couple things. When you think about it, if you go from east of the downtown to west, I'm going to rattle these off very quickly. You got Skinner Boulevard, we talked about that. You got the gateway that's happening. You got Meats Materials parking lot that will happen. You have the existing City Hall that will be redone. You have the new City Hall. You have John R. Lawrence Pioneer Park. You will have the Concertina. Boy, an awful lot happening in this crosswalk, as well as enhanced landscaping, all within a couple-year time frame. Pretty incredible. I don't think there's any other downtown in this area that comes even close to what's being accomplished by the Community Redevelopment Agency, the Commission, and staff and consultants. So it's pretty amazing. I think we tend to forget, but when you add it all up, it's got a lot of impact. And that's why people they want to do the Hyatt Hotel, that's why they're here. They're seeing this continual investment, which the City Commission has done overall. My tenure has made this commitment, and that has really reaped the rewards that we're seeing today. So I just wanted to mention that.
Very good. Any
Okay.
final questions or comments?
Yeah, I do, Mayor. Yeah, with the fencing around Meats Material,
Yes.
did we make sure that there's a gap to allow access between the parking lot and the SAS?
Gap. I've talked to
I
Alan.
know they wanted a fence and things of that nature, just so they could use that parking lot without
Yes.
having to walk around if there was just a,
I mentioned it to somebody, you or you,
Yeah.
I've talked to
because
Alan
there's a
McHale.
step there.
Never came up. They actually wanted some type of fencing up in there, so I don't.
well, they wanted fencing, but they wanted to be
A
able.
gap.
A gap or.
Like a gate.
Or
You
something.
did mention it, Mayor. Has that fencing gone up?
I just saw it going up.
The decorative fencing is going up. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's that area.
You're talking about in the back, though? We haven't done
Yeah,
anything in
the
the
back.
Yeah.
There's a step from the parking lot down to the SAS.
Nothing has happened in the back. This
Okay.
is strictly just the front. And, so, yeah, I don't,
Okay.
we'll have to give Alan a call, I'm not quite sure, but we are looking to work with the hospital. They've been great partners on the second phase there, too, with demolition of that building. So that'll be something we'll be bringing to you here shortly, I hope. All right. But added parking is obviously key, and the barricades, of course, have been removed, too, which will help. We did lose parking in front of the John R. Lawrence Pioneer Park because of the work that has to be done to mobilize and stage out there, so. Okay.
Anything else from anybody?
So,
I just want to say, I think it's really wonderful, love the Taste of Dunedin, that somebody is filming in our town. I think that is fabulous. I mean, you talk about sort of the whipped cream on top of the sundae. I mean,
Hallmark,
this is
yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah, the Hallmark, and they're making a contribution of $5,000, so I know Jennifer's coordinating that with Dunedin Cares.
That's wonderful.
So, pretty amazing. Yeah.
and they're gonna have CC Ryder's actual name and use Dunedin, and
It's
thanks to
fabulous.
Sylvia, because she's
Yeah.
held to her guns about it,
Yeah,
so
it's
that's awesome.
fabulous. Yeah.
Very good.
And you will see, you're going to see more and more of the Hyatt Hotel as that comes before you, too. It's pretty incredible.
You know, speaking of that, Bob,
Yeah.
you said that got presented to the
CRA advisory.
CRA, and I don't want to get too far down a road because I know it's a quasi-judicial thing, but the presentation that they made, did they make it with the changes that they were talking about
Yes.
making?
Render-
Oh, so it's been updated. The renderings have been updated and expanded?
Yes, they have.
Good.
Yes, they have.
That's
And
what I
showing
wanted to know.
A much wider sidewalks and
Gotcha.
pedestrians, so,
Thank you.
yes.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you for watching this City of Dunedin government meeting. If you'd like to review any part of this meeting or watch any previous government meeting coverage, you can watch these meetings online anytime through the city's website, dunedingov.com. Stay connected with everything Dunedin. Follow the city on this channel and on the city's Facebook page, through Twitter, and on the city's YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching this Dunedin television production.